Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into the first day of testimony in the state of Florida v. Donna Adelson. This is, a really crucial phase in the Daniel Markel murder trial.
Absolutely.
You've given us some detailed courtroom reports, and, well, our mission here is to kind of cut through the noise, pull out the key insights. We're looking at everything from those first eyewitness accounts to the legal groundwork being laid out. It's about understanding how the prosecution is actually building its case, right? Piece by piece.
And what's immediately striking, I think, is how they chose to open. They didn't lead with, the theory of who might have ordered this.
No,
they started by establishing the brutal reality of the crime itself. Very visceral. It's like legal choreography, really. Get the jury grounded in the hard facts first.
Okay, so let's start there. James Geiger. He was Daniel Markel's neighbor for, almost 50 years?
Yeah, a very long time. His testimony was the jury's first real window into what happened right after the shooting.
So what did he establish? What were those key moments?
Well, Geiger talked about that Friday morning, July 18th, 2014. Around 10:30 a.m., he and his wife heard this loud bang, or maybe a popping sound, he said.
Okay.
And that drew his attention. He looked over and saw a light-colored car, thought maybe it was a Prius backing out of Markel's driveway really quickly and then speeding off.
But his first thought wasn't murder, was it?
No, not at all. He initially assumed it was like a burglary attempt that got interrupted.
Right.
He even walked over, saw Markel's car still running in the garage, and kind of thought, okay, maybe they just scared someone off, but then something didn't feel right.
That nagging feeling. So what happened when he went back? What did he actually find?
Yeah, he went back, and this time he walked right into the garage.
Yeah.
And it was, horrific. He found Markel in the driver's seat, the window was shattered, there was blood on his head, and he described his head rolling slowly back and forth.
Oh, terrible. He called out to him.
Desperately called his name, yeah. But no response. Nothing.
And then he had to run back for his phone, right, to call 911. That call becomes pretty important evidence.
Hugely important. You can hear the stress in his voice, but he's clear. He reports the bang, the car speeding away, his injured neighbor, and crucially, his timeline estimate.
What was that again?
He said it was less than 10 minutes, but more than 5, between hearing the shot and making that 911 call. That becomes a really vital anchor point later.
Okay.
But just as important is what he couldn't say. He was very clear. He couldn't identify who was actually driving that Prius.
Right, a critical limitation. So from Geiger's civilian account, we move to the professionals. Sergeant David Sims, the first officer there.
Correct. Sims, very experienced, 28 years on the force. He arrived and immediately started noting key details.
Like what specifically?
He saw a very specific rounded hole in the shattered driver's side window. Consistent, he said, with a bullet impact. And he found Markel slumped over, making this awful sound, a gasping sound, like labored breathing, a sucking noise.
And the scene inside the car. It just screamed interrupted routine, didn't it?
It really did. Markel was still clutching his cell phone in his left hand.
Okay.
And a business card in his right hand. His eyeglasses were broken. One half was in his lap. The other half had fallen to the floorboard. It just, spoke to the sheer force of that impact.
Yeah. And Sims's actions were all about procedure, right?
Yeah.
Preserve life if possible, secure the scene.
Exactly. Methodical. Okay, then we bring in the science. Joanne Matiz, the forensic specialist.
Right, in the documentation phase. What did her meticulous work show? And maybe, just as importantly, what did it not show?
Well, she collected everything, standard procedure, like both halves of those broken eyeglasses.
Yeah.
But what really stands out, I think, is the negative evidence, meaning what wasn't there. Despite really thorough processing of the car, they found no usable fingerprints, no useful DNA. Nothing.
Wow.
And Markel's wallet, it was in the glove box, untouched. You could even see cash inside it.
So what does that absence tell you? What's the implication?
Well, it strongly suggests this wasn't random. It wasn't a robbery gone wrong or a simple burglary. It points much more towards a targeted, professional-style killing.
Makes sense. Anything else from Maltese?
Yeah, 2 other key things. She documented stippling on Markel's forearm. That's like unburnt gunpowder particles.
Okay.
Which indicates the shot was fired at very close range, possibly, with his arm raised defensively. And she also photographed Wendy Adelson's car, which was nearby. Inside, she found an alcohol receipt, dated July 18th, 2014, time-stamped 12:49 p.m. That detail comes back later when they start establishing Wendy's timeline for that day.
Okay, got it. So these first few witnesses, Geiger, Sims, Maltese,
Yeah.
they build this really strong, undeniable foundation that, yes, a murder occurred. But how does this connect, legally speaking, to Donna Adelson at this early stage?
Right. So legally, what they've done here is establish the corpus delicti.
Yeah.
Fancy term, but it just means they've proven a crime actually happened, undeniably. And that negative evidence, no prints, no robbery motive that helps rule out other reasonable explanations. It really narrows the focus onto a premeditated, targeted killing. The timeline Geiger provided is also crucial for establishing things like immediate flight from the scene, which corroborates other evidence down the line, like cell phone pings.
But this raises the big question, doesn't it? They've masterfully shown the what, the when, the how of Daniel Markel's murder. But there's a huge piece missing right now.
Precisely. That's the elephant in the room at this stage. None of these witnesses, Geiger, Sims, Maltese, what they cannot do is provide any direct evidence linking Donna Adelson to the crime.
Nothing at all connecting her to the murder itself or the alleged conspiracy.
Exactly. So this initial testimony, while it's incredibly powerful emotionally and legally very sound for proving the murder happened, it absolutely creates what some analysts call a proof gap.
A proof gap.
Yeah. They've established the crime, the brutal reality of it, but that leap to proving who ordered it, that connection hasn't been made yet, not with this testimony.
Fascinating. It really shows the methodical, step-by-step process. We've seen this state build its case from that initial traumatic discovery by the neighbor through the first responders' observations, right up to the forensic specialist's detailed work. It paints a very clear, very grim picture of the murder itself.
It's definitely a powerful start for establishing the crime, no question. But, for you as the listener following this, the ultimate question has to be, how are they going to bridge that proof gap?
Right.
How do they pivot from proving that this terrible murder occurred to proving who actually set it in motion? That jump from murder to murder for hire, proving who ordered it, that's the real challenge here. And it's definitely something to keep thinking about as you follow the rest of this really complex case.